If you've been reading the entertainment news lately, you might have seen that the drive-bys are back at it again. They're crowing. They're glowing over just how much Inside Out 2 might make at the box office. There's just one giant problem. They're missing the headline. They're perhaps misleading you by not telling you the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway there is about the movie. And folks, it's time for us to share exactly that right now. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, backgrounds, creeds. You are welcome here on the Pro Channel as we continue to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. Today we are taking a look at Inside Out 2, a Pixar film, which I don't know if you've heard, but Pixar just laid off more than 10% of their entire workforce. Not a vote of confidence, I would say, but the drive-bys, they are praising to the heavens just how much money this is likely to make based on projections, based on pre-ticket sales. Unfortunately, they're not telling you the most important part of the story. And we're ready to do so. Let's bring the panel on right now. Click the like button and let's get started. All right, here's what we've got out of Forbes by Connor Murray. Inside Out 2 could end Disney's string of animated box office flops. The article says, Inside Out 2 is on track to gross as much as $85 million in its opening weekend at the domestic box office. Deadline reported, possibly making it the best opening of the year and bucking a years-long trend of flops for Disney animated films after films like Wish, Elemental, and Lightyear struggled. Now that, I think, is generously optimistic. The idea that $85 million is going to be the best of the year, considering that we have much more of the year to go, and Despicable Me is a much bigger franchise than anything Pixar has put out. Seriously. All right, the key facts say Inside Out 2, the upcoming sequel to Disney's 2015 animated hit, is on track to gross between $80 million and $85 million in its domestic opening weekend after it hits theaters on June 14th, according to Deadline. The projected opening for Inside Out 2 is more than 4 times higher, yay, than Disney's most recent animated release, Wish, which fell far below expectations to open with just $19.7 million from its opening weekend despite a $200 million budget, making it one of Disney's worst openings for an animated movie ever. Inside Out 2 is a Pixar-produced release, looks to fare much better than Pixar's last effort, Elemental. You get the idea, folks. Talking about Strange World, yada, yada, yada. So, and then the last point is so important to see. The projected opening for Inside Out 2 would be the best opening weekend for a Disney animated film since Frozen 2 opened with 130 in November 2019. Now, this is a totally positive article. There's nothing in here negative about Inside Out 2. So I wanted to show you all something that's very interesting to me. So everybody ready for the actual receipts to see what the real story should be? Here we go. Yeah. Inside Out 2 is projected to make $85 million, right? Well, where does that put it? Folks, take a look at number 14 on the list of animated movies and their opening box office debuts. Inside Out, the original, made $90.4 million in its first weekend. Therefore, they are currently projecting that this film will land somewhere around Despicable Me 2, Monsters University, and Zootopia. Now, here's why that's a problem. One, because the story here is that Inside Out 2 is projected to make less than the original Inside Out in its opening. But the bigger story should be that movie ticket prices since Inside Out are so dramatically higher that means that Disney is projected now to have about 68 to 70%, if these projections hold, of the audience that they had for the original Inside Out. You see, the failure here, the drop in attendance, is masked by historic inflation. And movie theaters have outpaced historic inflation in terms of the ticket prices increasing. So panel, let's take the position now. Am I wrong? Should this be a moment of celebration for Disney, or is the story more appropriately that they have significantly lost attendance? Which side matters more, or is it somewhere in the middle? You tell me.
I don't think this is cause for celebration because there's like 8 sequels above it that are of popular franchises. Inside Out was a popular movie, and for it to go less than, I don't think that's a good sign. Lorena, you?
No, I was going to say I don't think it's really a good time for two reasons. Those figures that you just showed, Pro, are those adjusted for inflation?
No, they are not adjusted for inflation.
Okay, so I would say that adjusted for inflation, you're seeing probably like maybe what 15 to 20% less as compared to today's dollars. So I'd say that's one. Second thing is I actually bought a ticket for Inside Out 2 on preview night. Do you know how many people are in that theater right now who bought tickets?
Is it facts are about to hurt some feelings right now?
Me
is it 7?
and one other person.
Oh man.
Oh, wow.
No.
That's opening night, Lorena.
Is the other person Bob Iger so we can watch the movie?
He probably bought it for his cousin, I guess, who lives here. I don't know, but it's just
Wow.
two people. This is a Pixar movie on preview night, a Pixar movie. Pixar movies used to be close to sold out.
Yeah.
Close to that on preview night, definitely by the weekend, but no, it's like wide open to get tickets to this film.
Ron, what are your thoughts
Kara
on?
Was on
My
sorry,
son.
There's a delay.
No,
I
well,
apologize.
You're good. My 11-year-old son loved Inside Out when it first came out, but again, there's a huge gap. He was 6. 6 and 11 are two very, very different ages. So, first of all, the young audience has changed so much that might make a difference. Also, so much has changed with the times. That same audience, he doesn't watch movies. He is in the video games now. I think there's a lot of things making a difference. The economy, everything, and Disney has lost their reputation with families, with a lot of generally traditional families across the United States, at least. I don't know about the world because I can't speak for the world. But I just know that, like, I see it all the time on my Facebook feed, people I'm friends with. Yes, I'm friends with a lot of Disney lovers, pixie dusters, all of that. I have friends across the board, but some people are just, hey, I'm done. I'm fed up. No more Disney for me. And it's not a small amount of people. It's a significant number of people just in my small group. And if you multiply that across the country, I think that they're in trouble. What I would say is 85 million being a good thing is a great spin for them to put on it, but that's all it is, a spin.
Yes, absolutely. And this is, I think, tremendous spin. They want to make it seem like a win-win-win, and then you compare it to the former, the first movie, and you say, wait a minute, back when movie ticket prices were something like, 2/3 of this cost, you guys outperformed the sequel. How can that possibly be? Jonathan, your thoughts on the box office and this idea that perhaps we've disrupted the pattern of people going to see movies now?
Yeah, I'm with Ron on the idea that I think the biggest problem isn't even the ticket prices or less people going to the theater. It's just the zeitgeist around Disney is not good, right? Everybody's thinking like Disney. One, every movie's been mediocre, but two, like you, Ron, everybody in my immediate group is not buying into Disney in any way, right? We don't want it for our kids, generally speaking. We don't want it for we're not going to recommend it to people then. And so not only are they losing the people that are going to the theater, they're losing any conversations around it if it is a good film anyway, because we're just deciding not to go see it. So the groundswell of people seeing it is diminished just from the sheer fact that, half the country doesn't like Disney anymore. At least that's what it seems like to me. And I think that's their bigger problem right now.
Absolutely. I think you're exactly
that out, by the way.
Yep.
Yes, and the polling too. Don't forget the Axios Harris poll that found that Disney is one of the most disliked companies on planet Earth, and that's been because they put themselves into a very partisan situation. And I think folks are going to probably wait and see. Lorena, this idea that you only have one other person in the audience right now for the premiere night, for the preview night, I think that's probably because families are going to wait and find out, is this woke? And then they're going to find out whether or not they're willing to go and take their kids before they don't want another Lightyear. They don't want another Strange World situation.
And we
I
don't want another Red.
100% agree. Camera Girl, who was raised on Disney, diehard Disney, loved Inside Out, just like what Ron was saying. It's like a difference between when she saw it when she was like about 8 and Inside Out 2, she has zero interest in that whatsoever. She doesn't feel like Disney appeals to her at all. the way that it used to. And you're right, families cannot trust Disney blindly the way that they used to. So they're waiting for other people to go and see the film and see what happens. But kids who will say young adults who are like Camera Girls age, they're thinking about anime. They're thinking about anything from Illumination or DreamWorks. They are not looking at Disney.
Absolutely.
It's Tinkerbell's fault. You know, she started it all because she was problematic, and now it all is.
Ron, what do you make of that too? Because I think that does feed into the Tinkerbell situation, feeds into this movie idea, right? Because Disney has different values than the average family out there. And so we've done a report here on the channel in the past about how back in 2022, Tinkerbell was identified as a problematic character, couldn't have families meet with her. Now she's been removed from the Disney parks. What do you make of this company and where their values currently are?
Well, let me explain one of my issues totally based on that is that I find the message that comes up before an old movie, if you watch Disney Plus and they've got a trigger warning before the movie, I find that far more offensive that they put that there, basically talking down to an audience that's been around this type of stuff our whole lives. I can judge for myself whether I think that movie has issues or not has issues, based on my own life, my own history. I don't need a trigger warning from the company trying to coerce my free thought of I mean, why would you even put the product out? I don't know. That boggles my mind, because I can understand a warning about, okay, this has tobacco use, this has drug use, blah blah blah. But when you put a long message saying, well, the ideas back then were wrong then and wrong now, and I'm like, sorry, I get this. It bothers me so much that they would even put that stuff on these amazing movies like Peter Pan with Tinkerbell, who, yes, I understand. I mean, Peter Pan's still in the parks. Dumbo is still in the parks. There's a lot of issues with the Dumbo movie if you go back and you look at it from today's perspective. But to be honest with you, there was a different perspective. There was a different audience back then, and that's okay. We can look back at old things and go, okay, things have changed, and we get that, but I don't need you telling me that, Disney. I'll make those decisions for my own, and I'll make those decisions for my family. And you're helping me make a lot of different decisions for my family than I used to. Mostly that I'm going over to DreamWorks and Illumination most of the time.
That's right. And your eagerness to go to Universal Studios, I think, is right in line with audiences' eagerness to go visit those little yellow minions who don't come with disclaimers, who don't demean the past. And I think that is, well, it's not a great thing for Disney for their ask for audiences to return. Folks, we must come to the end yet again. Every beginning has an end. The wonderful thing about this channel is, as opposed to Tigger's, we just keep pumping out more and more content. I don't know, maybe Tigger does the same. Who knows? Maybe that's why he keeps bouncing. We definitely keep bouncing. More videos all the time right here. And if you're not yet subscribed, consider doing so. Like, share, and also, when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment right on down below and let us know. Are you shocked? Are you dismayed, I say, that journalists would dare not tell you the biggest fact that Inside Out 2 is on track to make less than the original, even despite inflation? Well, we're not shocked at all, frankly, and this is the kind of channel you need to be tuned into if you want to get the truth each and every day. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.